Calgary never had a chance after that. Dal won the serve back on the next point. They put the game away, become the first maritime team in history to win a CIAU volleyball title. Casey here flew out the next morning to the National Senior Basketball Finals. While you've just heard about the single most exciting athletic contest in her life, Karin Maessen did spend time at a higher level of competition. As most of you know, from 75 to 84, she played for Canada, being the first Nova Scotia athlete to compete with the Canadian national team. She finished her international career as captain of that national team. Since that time, Karen Fraser, Julie Young, and Christine Frail have followed in her footsteps. Over the years, Karen and her teammates received more than just the occasional chat from Canadian officials who were reacting to reports they received from representatives of more staid cultures. This picture, I got the story on this. She had traded clothes with this guard in Peru, and she was running around arresting people. They all thought it was cute until she pulled her gun, and then just when the other supervisors of the guard came in, and then all pandemonium broke loose. The reports usually stated that some of the Canadian women seemed to be a bit tipsy at the big function. The investigation inevitably showed that Karin was the suspect to whom they were referring, though she rarely takes even a sip of alcohol. The real story was that her normal behavior, the team called her the Yahoo girl, gave a pretty good imitation of someone who drank rather heavily. Hence the misunderstanding in the lectures on how to behave in front of the dignitaries from other worlds. Maessen has, over the years, competed at 3 World Championships, 2 Pan American Games, 2 World University Games, and numerous other international meets. According to my notes, Karin Maessen, ladies and gentlemen, has represented Canada in the United States, Mexico, Brazil, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico, Cuba, Peru, Venezuela, Netherlands, Italy, France, Bulgaria, Romania, Czechoslovakia, East and West Germany, the USSR, Japan, China, and Korea. When she finished her CIAU and Canadian participation, she played a season of semi-pro volleyball for Nîmes Perrier in France before turning her hand to coaching, marriage to Peter, and raising her son Gavin, who's now 3, and her 1-year-old daughter BJ. She's coached volleyball for Team Nova Scotia at the Canada Games, the Air Atlantic Aces senior team, the Secretary senior team, CP Allen, Halifax West, QEH, St. Mary's, Dalhousie, and University of Victoria. Her award list is long and boring. Part of it says she was a tournament all-stars, the AUAA Championships, the Atlantic Zone Senior Women's Championships, the Canadian Senior Women's Championship, the Norseca Games in Mexico. She was the most valuable player at the Dalhousie Classic, University of Waterloo Invitational for all 4 years of her participation at Dalhousie University. Provincial Volleyball Championship, she was twice named the AUAA League MVP. In 1977, she was the first-year student to ever be named the Dalhousie Female Athlete of the Year, an award she received again in 1981 and again in 1982. She was twice named Nova Scotia Athlete of the Year. Probably has a much longer list, but I couldn't get a hold of her when I was digging up stuff for this presentation because she was at the Commonwealth Games playing for Canada. You ready for this? Because I sure as hell wasn't. She was playing for the Canadian lacrosse team. I asked Joni Langley, a member of Canadian national teams in 2 sports, if she had anything to say about Karin Maessen. Unflinchingly, she said, yeah, she's the best athlete in Nova Scotia. Unbelievable sporting achievements like these would undoubtedly have turned a lesser mortal into someone more concerned with her own success than with the people around her. One more story, and then we'll stop all this fussing before she gets too big for her old corduroys. After the Dow Classic one year, Karin went to Coach Lois McGregor's office with the all-star sweater she'd received. Her request was simple. Bev Odette, in Karin's opinion, had played the tournament of her life. Wasn't named to the all-star team. Karin, in Karin's opinion, had not played well at all. She knew that Bev would never accept it from her under the circumstances. She begged Lois to give the sweater to Bev, saying that the team had purchased it because they felt that she was the MVP of the tournament. The ruse was pulled off, and unless Bev is here tonight, she's still unaware of the source of that gift. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you tonight's last inductee of 1994, the only one that was piped in, a woman with a heart as big as her incredible sporting accomplishments, a hero to all Nova Scotians, Karin M. Maessen.
Ladies and gentlemen, to make the presentation, Karin's 1982 coach at Dalhousie, the CIAU volleyball champions, the year that Karin was CIAU Player of the Year. Please welcome Lois McGregor. Where did you find the time to do it all?
What else was there to do? Life is sport. Sport is life.
But you had a heavy academic load, and yet you still made time. Time management had to be another one of your attributes.
You didn't talk to my professors, did you?
Listen, I've got to ask you about this lacrosse incarnation.
Well, after my daughter Brett was born in April, I needed something to do. Right, Ann? Got to get that weight off. And a friend of mine was playing lacrosse, and she said, well, come on out, give it a go. And went to a couple of practices. Yeah, it was real fun dropping that. It was really fun doing something that you felt like a total idiot at after being so good in other sports. Right? So I thought, okay, here's a challenge. And they said, well, keep it up. And they're going to be selecting members for the Commonwealth Games team the following summer. Yeah, got nothing to lose. It's going to be here in Victoria, so I just went for it.
Is that a one shot, or are you going to continue this career?
Well, I think I'll continue the sport, but certainly not quite as intensely as I have over the last year, practicing with my kids at the park and my dog retrieving the ball and wherever you can get an extra minute in.
Sandy has documented your playing career so brilliantly, as he always does. I'd like to talk to you about Karin Maessen 1994. What are you doing? What are you up to in Victoria?
Well, I've retired from coaching, which I was doing at UVic for a couple of years, until we started to have our young family, and decided, for me, couldn't handle two careers like some other super women. And I decided to stay at home with my kids, aged 3 and 16 months, and loving every minute of it.
Well, you had the good sense, if you had to move from this coast, to move to the other one, because it keeps you by the water, and that's what we all grew up in.
Yeah, and at least I can run every day without having to combat the slush and the rain and the ice. So that's a real bonus out there. But, of course, I miss the friends and the family and the camaraderie, and it's just overwhelming coming here tonight and seeing everyone here and all the super inductees that I'm up on the stage with. It's just incredible.
Karin, we are deeply grateful to you and pleased indeed that you considered this to be significant enough to come all the way from Victoria to be with us tonight. You're a great lady.
Thank you. No doubt about it. When you called me, Pat, I had no idea why you're calling me, and I'm going, how did he find me here? Like, what? I haven't done it. What have you called me out here for? You know? And then it's just a good thing he called me, because if my brother had called me, I would have gone, yeah, sure. Keep, you know.
Maurice keeps us informed.
Anyways, of course, to me, this is a once-in-a-lifetime honor, and I'll never receive anything like this, and I'll never receive the support and backing that and the warmth that I felt from Halifax and Nova Scotia, anywhere else in the world. It's incredible.
Thank you, Karin.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Karin Maessen.